Good morning, Ma.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm just loving these primary colors of yellow, green, and red.
Oh, you can see them somewhere?
I can see them all over your beautiful Ordini, Ma. It's looking stunning.
Oh, so
And there's
sweet.
like a lovely, attractive energy that is inviting us to walk the spiritual path. Fully. So that was going to be my question. Just as soon as we have everyone logging in, I see Ash, I see Gauri, I see Anu, I see Achika, Harshla,
You see their names, or
Minanti.
you actually can see them?
I see their names, and I can
and you can actually
see them in my mind's eye when I close my eyes.
So that's the difference between walking half and walking full.
Oh, do tell, Ma.
Walking half means
that I can recognize something but can't see it in real.
See the names, and maybe you can imagine
what they're doing, what they're wearing,
where they're sitting, how they're looking, whether they're paying full attention, half the attention. And the other part is that you are fully aware, fully in the moment, fully conscious of how you're behaving, how you're sitting, how you're listening, and how you are absorbing, how you're intuitively connecting to the radiance of the moment and spreading your own radiance into your homes. And remember that we all come down on planet Earth to fulfill a particular mission, just as do the plants and the bees and the butterflies. Everybody is arriving to do their own personal journey completion, so that they can go back to the home of the divine and be in service to the divine here or there. It doesn't matter. So being fully here means that we are in full service to the divine, and we are intuitively going to embrace that consciousness. What we are breathing in and what we are breathing out is the same. What we want for ourselves, we want for the other, and we are gently, radiantly, effulgently conscious of our own intelligence, our own needs, our wants, our desires, and we're wishing the same for everyone. And remember that, there are planets around the cosmos. We have planet Earth, we have the radiance of the sun, the light, the moon. Everything is orbiting around us, and we are also orbiting and circulating and moving around the sun, and we are also absorbing that nurturance. And when we are absorbing that nurturance, we are also walking. Walking doesn't mean only with the footsteps. Walking also means with our mind, with our heart, with our intuition, with our intelligence. When we walk through class 1 to class 12, then we go to college, then we go and we do some advanced studies. We are walking every day of our life. We are learning something new, or sometimes we are laying to rest some of the bad habits, Like yesterday I was talking to somebody who's been an alcoholic for 20 years, and now he's been clean for 7 years, and he was telling me that one of the most important things that I taught him was to walk towards his better self. And it's not that he's, looking at himself as an alcoholic. He's looking at himself being best friends with that bottle of alcohol, and he's going to go visit the friend when he wants in the future. He doesn't have to visit right now. So I thought that was a sweet way of making that bottle his best friend and keeping it close but not opening it to drink it. So it's interesting how sometimes you just say that I'm a bad person, I drink, and I'm so toxic, and my family hates me. Instead of that, you make friends with everybody. So it depends on how you're walking on that path of self-evolution. And today in the morning I had a message from somebody who's expecting a baby, and they're saying, is it my grandfather's soul? So I was smiling to myself that why would you want your grandfather to be trapped in material nature one more time, to be punished through? And what kind of a mother would you make to your grandfather? So it's really funny how people want soul associations, and they want to live in a make-believe world. So instead of welcoming the soul, you're really rejecting the soul, saying if it's not my grandfather, then it's not good enough.
Yes.
So how you're walking, how you're interacting, what is the revolution of your thoughts. Remember, they're also circling through your mind, and depending on what you're inviting, it's important to see that is your personal identification with all the souls associative. Is it loving? Is it compassionate? Is it freedom inspiring? Is it like trapping someone and saying that I'm going to fix you into this person that I believe you are, instead of inviting the person who is actually coming into your heart, into your soul, into your life, into your future, into traveling forward. So I think that we have to sing along and we have to be happy with whatever is our nurturance ability. And the first and foremost nurturance is to ourselves and our association with the divine and the planets and the elements and Mother Earth, and to be respectful to our parents, because they're the ones who gave birth to us. So walking fully means that being fully aware of our responsibilities and actualizing our highest potential, and knowing that we are loved beings. Nobody is hating us. We can hate ourselves the most by saying I'm not perfect, I'm not thin enough, I'm not fat enough, my eyes are not big enough, my nose is crooked, my lips need to be more pouty. I don't know what all people do, enhancing their breasts,
or breast
doing liposuction,
so
many things. So how does it make you better than you were before? You're still the same person. So respect your body, love your mind, love your soul, love your spirit, and be joyful. That's the most important part of being spiritually awakened, is to bring that joy not only to yourself and to your life, but also to the life of others that you are interacting with. So that's what I would say, is to fully walk in the fragrant light and to enjoy every moment of your lives and to make it joyful. Whether you're cooking, whether you're eating, whether you're sleeping, whether you're dancing, whether you're singing, whether you're doing going to work, it should be all joyful.
So is the joy centered in our attitude, or is it centered in the action and the environment that we're in?
It's joy is in the environment.
Okay.
And depending on where we plug in, we are going to download that energy. And once that energy has entered us, if we don't like it, then it takes just a few seconds to ground it through your feet. That's why the feet are the most important part of walking ahead with sustenance and with grace, because all the toxic energy through the magnetic force, Mother Earth is healing us constantly. She's taking away the debris, the negative energy, and we are being replenished with that effulgent radiant light that's coming from the top, and it's caressing our head, our neck, our shoulders, our arms, going down the torso, the thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, soles. And sometimes we have the ability to give that radiant light and the gems and jewels of love and care and comfort and compassion even to Mother Earth and to the trees and shrubs and everything that's growing around you. So wherever you're walking, the gold and silver dust is falling, and it's inspiring everyone to be joyful and to walk fully empowered.
Yes, Ma. So this leads me to the other question that you said, that how the joy and the bliss is in the environment. So when we are in a toxic environment or we are in an unsafe environment, it's when we are channeling the light and connecting to the healing that we are able to access the portal of joy and bliss and comfort.
Yes.
Or how does that work?
Supposing you go for a movie in a cinema hall and you're in a good mood, you take the radiance and the joy, and everything that's happening on the screen is bringing a smile to your face, you're laughing, And then there could be other people in the cinema hall who've come, they're very stressed and they're saying, what's so funny, what's so funny? So there are two reactions, and then somebody else could be just falling asleep in the cinema hall and waking up and saying, oh, the movie's over. And then the family saying, yes, yes, you were falling asleep, we didn't wake you up. So there can be so many different reactions. There could be somebody else who could be with a loved one and could just be having an intimate conversation or holding hands or hugging each other and, oblivious to what's happening on the screen.
Yes,
so depending on what is the energy that you're bringing to that moment is going to result in your joyfulness, your absence, your indifference, or even sleep. So sometimes we are sleeping, sometimes we are dreaming, and sometimes we are wakeful.
Yes,
and then somebody else could be hungry and they could just go out and miss the plot of the movie because they're so busy buying the popcorn and the Coke and maybe having a burger in the restaurant outside. And then saying, okay, now I've come, this movie doesn't make sense. But they missed the whole point of the movie.
Yes.
So depending on how you are resonating with that experience in the moment, it's the same. Sometimes even at work we'll miss the point. Sometimes even when we are cooking, we may forget the most important ingredient of the dish, which could be salt. I know so many times people make food and they forget to add the salt.
Add the salt.
So that's not fully awakened and fully walking and caring and being of service to the universe that they're living in. They're cooking, but they're just leaving the most important ingredients out.
So even so are our words and how we communicate with people, whether it's through touch or through the actions or through the words, then is that the ingredient that we're putting into the environment and into the people?
It could be an expression on your face.
Yes,
it could be a touch. It could be a hug. It could be just folding the clothes. Supposing your mother's just come back from a wedding and you're there and you're saying, Mom, you look so pretty, and then she's changing and you're folding everything with great love and putting it back in the cupboard. That could be a very fulfilling and a very fragrant walk through life where you're of service to another and you're doing it with genuine affection and love, and that's being transmitted. Or you could make a big hodgepodge and say, and dump it on the chair and say, we'll deal with it in the morning, and then for the next 2 weeks that maybe that sari still in that chair. I know people do these kind of things. So it depends on how awake you are, how alert you are, how that bhav of service has to be manifested for you to walk through in the fragrance of higher purpose and sharing and giving to the other your respect, your love, your compassion, your trust, and cherishing. So the most important part of walking is to cherish yourself first. And if you're cherishing yourself, then you're cherishing the other for sure.
So I think this beautifully answers, in large part, a question that we have, Ma, in the live comments, where Ruby asks, how do we deal with a toxic person, Ma? Please guide. So I think by cherishing yourself first.
Yeah.
And then how do
you
recognize a toxic person? That was my question, that how do we define someone as being toxic? Because this is a very lovely word. So I know that a toxic environment could be literally like a war-torn zone, or there's how COVID was spreading and airborne, so you have airborne diseases. Those are toxic environments.
Somebody's burning leaves
and the fumes are suffocating, if you have asthma patients. So that's how I use or define a toxic environment. So would it be that a toxic person is someone who is suffocating you?
Yeah, but you can move away from that.
Yes,
you can go away. You can be in another zone. I'm reminded of a very sweet interaction. There was the ISKCON temple was in Greater Kailash, I remember. and next door neighbor had a heart bypass surgery. So the temple priest used to get up at 4 o'clock and do Mangal Aarti, and they would ring the bells and all. And this gentleman who was next door was very disturbed because he couldn't sleep peacefully. So his family came to the temple priest and said that, can you stop ringing the bells so loud, and they're disturbing. So the temple priest said, but you should encourage your father to also get up in the morning and chant Hare Krishna with us. So then the family was so angry that why are you being so insensitive? So the temple priest said, if he has to leave his body and if he's chanting Hare Krishna, he'll get faster to the divine. And it took only 3 days for them to shift out. So they left the house saying that the
name of the divine was disturbing
them.
Oh,
so
wow.
It depends on what is disturbing you and how you're going to take an action, and how you're going to in which consciousness you're going to evolve. And so somebody else could have taken that as the absolute truth and started to transform and chant with the thing and go back to sleep after the Mangal Aarti was over. So it depends on how you're responding and reciprocating with the universe. The universe is always telling the truth, is giving you what you need. Even those toxic fumes are showing you that you have to do some healing with your environment. You have to, with your neighborhood, so what is toxic is something that you can remove yourself from it, or it could be just the opposite, that it's the divine name, and you could also be removing yourself from that. Depends on what is toxic for you.
I'm just smiling cheek to cheek because I'm thinking of my biochemistry professor and how we learned about about oxygen toxicity, that oxygen at high levels is toxic to even humans, but oxygen even in low levels is toxic to certain microbes and mollusks and different kind of organisms. And that's it's just making me laugh. And what are we thinking that is toxic?
Yeah, somebody would say that this is toxic and that is toxic, but
yes.
Depends environmentally or mentally how you're tuning yourself to your environment and finding what is of purpose and what is of how you can. I think the spontaneous nature of human beings is to complain. And to hate whatever is happening, even good and bad. Can they really distinguish what is good for them and what is bad for them? Maybe not. Somebody who has a liver condition or jaundice, sugar is good for them, but if you give them a sweet to suck on,
tastes bitter.
It's very bitter.
Tastes bitter for them. Yes, ma. So this spontaneous criticism and complaint, that's a human de facto default factory setting. So I am assuming that factory setting is not coming from the divine home where our soul is coming.
No, it's conditioned
by material nature. Because our senses feel comfort and discomfort, and so that's why we're attuned to complaining when we're not comfortable.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday, when we were all growing up, there was no air conditioning.
Yes.
And then some homes didn't even have running water. It would come in the courtyard, and everybody was filling their buckets and things and bringing them home.
Yes.
And then we had running water, and then everything became, then we had the cooler, then we got the air conditioner, then we got the fridge, and now people complain so much.
Yes,
they're not able to tolerate the heat,
or
the cold. They need the heaters in the winter,
and they need the ACs in the summer.
Yeah, but otherwise the body can acclimatize to all the...
Yes, we have an internal thermostat, but if you don't give it a chance to function, then it maybe disappears.
Yes.
Or goes into dormancy.
And then we hate our environment, and the environment begins to
resonate with like attracts like. Yes.
And hate us back.
Yeah, I have yesterday we were discussing in the office staff that how hot is it, and so someone was sharing that it had touched 45 degrees, And I make it a point not to check the temperature because it's not going to really make a difference on how I'm going to be living my life. And then they were like, Divyadi, how come you're sitting in a room with like just the fan? So I said, because I am connecting to the cool breeze and the cool energy and the shade. The shade is so important.
Yeah.
And
you're thankful.
And I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful.
So when you're grateful, then the thermostat of the body is working differently.
Absolutely. Wow. And so in that gratefulness, we have Atulesh Chandramathur, who says, good morning, ma'am. Grateful to your grace that I can join the collective. It truly makes me happy. And
we love you.
Yes, we love you. And then we have Ajay Majid here, who asks, good morning, ma. Is depression karmic and how can we overcome it and move on? So I think it's such an interesting question in the light of this default setting of complaint and criticism and then
depression
anger. So where is the depression in this game of negatives?
Depression is when you
also cultivated, ma?
Yeah, cultivated to complain. And it's a gift that you give to yourself when you have no higher purpose to live your life with. And you're just stuck in a loop. So maybe you're complaining about your father, or you're complaining about your wife, or you're complaining about your children, that they're not doing this. But what are you doing? You need to work on that first and foremost. So depression is a luxury, actually.
Okay.
That I can sit here and I can be so depressed. So you need to focus on something that you can do for yourself that is different than just sitting there and saying that life is so bad. So instead of saying life is so bad, you could just start chanting that life is good and this is what I'm going to do differently today. So all the things that you've done in your life have prepared you for the depression. So now do things differently. So whatever you've done in the past is your experience of now. If you don't like what's happening in the now, then you have to change what you've done in the past so that your future situation is better. And we will send healing to you that you can break through this and sort out whatever it is that's making you so unhappy and live a very dignified and
satisfied life.
Full life with financial opulence. I think that nowadays a lot of people are unhappy because of their financial constraints and the inability to break free of fear of poverty.
Yes, ma'am. Because that's real. I mean, that is a very real thing. I think it's very... ma'am, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that it is difficult to earn a living in today's day and age.
Yeah, but we really have to push through and we have to find things to do differently.
So if we've been on a certain path and we feel that we're not achieving success on it, so then we have to reevaluate it.
We need to change our path, our professional.
Yes. Wow. That's really changes the perspective and puts the responsibility on us.
Yeah.
And also away from, I think, the helplessness that a lot of people feel when they are depressed or they are going through a depressive phase. Because you may not be clinically depressed, but everyone will have, like 8 out of 10 people will have depressive episodes in their life. So I think this is a great tool.
Yeah, I remember going to Jerusalem and teaching healing, and there was this 80-year-old lady who told me that she was very depressed, very lonely. She had no family, and she had been through the Holocaust, and there was lots of painful memories. And so I told her that she should do something with her hands. And so she said, what? I said, maybe sculpture, maybe painting, maybe drawing. So she went and walked in the woods and picked some twigs, and then she started with sandpaper, and she started doing at the age of 80. And by the time she was 85, she was already a famous sculptress. She was doing wood sculptures and selling them, and she was so happy till the end of her life.
So, ma'am, what is the difference between like I'm just ideating here on taking this thread of healing depression, that sometimes, and it's triggered by this lovely anecdote and sharing of this wonderful lady who found great success in the later part of her life, and she was able to heal that depression and also go through the healing and the forgiveness patterns. But what about people who are very talented and they make the effort and they are doing everything that is so-called quote-unquote correct, that they have a routine and they are going to work and they're talented and they're putting their best foot forward, but they don't get the success that they are expecting, or maybe even that they deserve, if you put it on a balanced scale.
They feel that they deserve is may not be what is written in their destiny. So that you have to be satisfied with whatever you're getting. And if you're wanting to sell something for 2,000 rupees and somebody wants to buy it at 500, so give it for 500. And that selling 200 at 500, 200 pieces at 500 may be better than selling 5 pieces at 2,000 rupees.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to be very in the moment, and you have to be willing to change, and you have to see what the universe is saying to you.
I think that is our ego doesn't allow us to believe that, we aren't the 2,000 a piece talent, we're 200 a piece talent. So I think that's going to make me also think, and others think. And of course there is a lot of love pouring in, ma'am, in the live chats with Rajni Auntie, Mamta, Aisha Ganguly, Benita, Moshami, and many others, Annie, Rekha Masi, and Purti, and just a lot of love flowing in. And then we have a very sweet question from Anu, who says, Ma, is it wrong to feel or worry about our finances before taking any decisions, or do we have to be positive because money is a necessity?
Money is a necessity, but I think in this universe we are all very so-called obsessed with wanting more and more and more, and we are not having the time to experience life right now. So I think that what's very important is the experiential journey of a soul, and money should not play that important a role. You should not be obsessed, because when you are living and experientially walking through life, the divine will always provide for you. So you should work. Of course, you have to work for your daily living, and but not always greedy. I know that so many people come to me and they say, when are we getting a promotion? And the minute they get the promotion, they're happy for like 3 days. And then they start asking me again, when's the next promotion? When are we going to get more money? When are we going to get more? And is it going to be? But, when I go back to the time when we were growing up as kids, our parents were working for the government, and they were very happy with their salary coming every month. And we were doing so much joyful interaction with very little money. But
yes,
it was about the experience of joy that was important. It wasn't about, when am I going to get a better job? Now I have to jump from this job to the next. Now I have to give up my job. Now I have to go. Everybody was satisfied. They were moving ahead, serving the country, serving the people, serving their families. And, there were so many brothers and sisters. Everybody was joined together, supporting. And if there was one sibling who wasn't earning or didn't have enough, everybody else was supporting them, supporting their children to go to school. And everything was about love and more love and more love and care. But nowadays I think that the selfishness, and I want more, I want to keep it in the cupboard, and then I want to invest it on the stock exchange, or the stock exchange has fallen, I've lost so many crores, I've lost this. That's the story I keep hearing every day.
Yes, ma'am.
But people are living in fear of loss, and that's what keeps happening.
Living in fear of loss. So loss of relationships, loss of money, loss of assets, loss of life, and loss of peace of mind.
And lots of depression.
Yeah.
Not loss, but lots.
So we need to convert that. And in the same theme of healing depression and healing with service, there's Bhavna Gulati, who shares that, Ma, very grateful for your blessings and guidance to help me out of depression. I'm reminded of how cooking for people in COVID helped me stand on my feet again.
And wonderful.
It's wonderful. And then we have Naomi, who says, big love and belated happy birthday, Ma. Many hugs and support from San Francisco. And
we
love it. And then we have Alexandra, who says, dear Ma, I'm so grateful for all the healing and your constant presence I always feel and resonate with.
I love you.
Yes, and sending Mom lots of strength, and Dad's soul is happily traveling
in the light.
In the light. And then we have Sudhi Bhaiya, who says, your wonderful smile makes us shine, Ma.
Love you, Betta.
Oh, very beautiful. And then we have a lot of people who are, ma'am, on pilgrimage. So
really?
We have one family who says that they've been in Pauri for last, I think Aisha Ganguly, that they've been in Pauri for 2 days and it's so serene and beautiful.
So
and then we have Neha, who says, dearest Ma and Divya, prayed for both of your good health at Siddhi Vinayak. We're so grateful. That's lovely. And of course, we have a beautiful question just at the perfect time.
Yes,
in this moment. So we have Moshrami, who says that she's joined after a year. And she's just so happy to be here. And she says that she's an artist and she's not able to sell her paintings. And so her family never gives any importance to her artwork. Maybe I feel like I'm adding, as Divya, that maybe perhaps a lot of people feel that art is like this, just like a hobby. But she really has a passion for it and commitment. And she says that I'm always tied up with my household work. Please guide me, Ma, how I should deal with this.
Yeah, you can open an Insta account to do some sales of your artwork so that more and more people can see it. And the other thing is that maybe some of those artworks she can give away to some hospital or to some children's ward or to a school where they can hang and people can appreciate her work. And sometimes it's not always about doing the art to sell, it's about sharing it forward. So depending on how much she can afford to give away, and then the minute she gives some part of it, the movement will start and more people will come to buy.
So it's not about not doing the art, it's about reorganizing and being committed and reaching new spaces and new audiences.
Yes. So give it forward. We will send healing for you to sell.
Yes. It's also, I feel, Ma, that if someone has, it's not only about art, like it could be someone who does a clothes business or they are a writer, they make jams and chutneys, but just making it and then putting it on the shelf is not going to find you a grahak or a person or a patron or a client to sell it to. So you have to take it to market.
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting. So why do we feel such lack of confidence or fear, Ma, to take things to market?
We don't have marketing skills.
Oh, okay.
We have good making skills and we don't have sales and marketing. That's a special talent. So maybe then she can find an art gallery that she could talk to and give a commission and put her work out there, and they are good at selling. So they would sell her work. Because I remember somebody who used to make jams and chutneys, and they would keep saying that, and I remember that we used to also at the healing center sell some of her jams.
Yes.
And then she went to the Red Cross Mela, and then now she has a very good flourishing business.
Relish and pickles and jam business. Yes, Ma. So I think Annie Anahita also is resonating with this, as she's an artist. And she is sending her gratitude.
To put her
art out there. Yes. She says the artist question applies to me too. Is giving a paint? She's saying giving a painting away is a great idea. She asked that can she give it to a public space? Can she donate it to a public space?
To a hospital, to an office, to a children's hospital.
Yeah.
Wherever.
And Sudeep is very funny. He says, I am ready to go to market, Ma. Smiley face emoji. And how? Yes, let's go to market. That's interesting. So it's some collaboration is needed to go to market, some agency of the self. Like in Annie's case, if she has the painting, she's not willing to showcase them. Maybe out of fear of rejection, or is it a fear of not able...
of wanting more money than what she thinks her art is worth. Right?
Okay.
The same about the 2,000 rupees
and the 200 rupees.
500 rupees.
Yes, ma'am.
But you'll sell 200 of those paintings.
Yes, that's true. And we have our lovely Divya Seth Shah, who says her yoga instructor and she are watching and listening whilst doing yoga. She says it's like our music. Yes. Renuma's love and guidance and my Divya's love and beauty.
You.
We love you.
We love you so much.
We love you.
Miss you.
Miss you. And this is just so interesting. I think I'm going to go away, Ma, from the Sunday Collective thinking a lot about the half walking of the spiritual path and the fully walking and being awakened, and then also those same feet chakras in the material universe are taking us to that marketplace where we have to showcase our talent.
Look at a tree.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, the cherry blossom tree.
Yes, ma'am.
And everybody goes to Japan or California to look at these cherry blossom trees, and it's a great event. They're creating a painting.
Yes, ma'am.
Are they wanting any money?
No.
They're just changing and transforming themselves. They're even giving you the cherries at the end of the blossom.
Yes.
And you're eating them. And so the tree is changing its many avatars and is making many, many fantastic paintings. And is silently doing the work of making your world beautiful. And we're all watching and we're all admiring, but are we putting some shekels, some dollars? No. It's just nature at its best.
Nature at its best.
So be part of that nature, and then the universe will reciprocate, will bring the admiration, will bring you also the shekels. Believe me. Well, depends on how you're resonating with the universe that you're standing upon.
So then is it that in one sentence we can understand that the divine and the elements in the universe and the Guru Ma,
the planets,
the colors, they're all waiting to nurture and support us.
Yes.
We are just afraid.
Wash away the depression and bring in the light and the radiance and cherishing enlightenment and illumination. You are willingly sharing with everyone.
Yes, ma'am. So in that willingness to share, what is it that we can do on a daily basis that we can activate that sharing potency, especially in our feet chakras that are taking us in material and spiritual nature?
Walk to any potted plant in your house and water it, or hug somebody who lives with you. I know that Neha is always hugging Fifi and Sunita Didi, and she's always asking for healing. So it depends on who you're living with. It could be your house, it could be the curtains that are hanging on your window to tell them that you really love them. And cook for somebody. Maybe just put out a little bit of your food for the birds and share. So you are walking towards new destinations and cooking new flavors of things and partaking of the goodness of the universe. So then you are going to be cherished and the world is going to cherish you. And you're going to cherish that, supposing you grow some bindi in the garden or on your terrace. And then that bindi always stays very nice.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Because it has a part of our own energy, Ma.
True. And your tender loving care. And then it's reciprocating.
Wow.
So how you respond, the universe responds back. How you drink a sip of water and the water is nourishing you or cherishing you, and you're saying, oh, it's not enough.
No, I was going to say that, it's like so resplendently satisfying.
Yeah, you could say, I need some more water, it's not enough.
Yes, ma.
So it depends.
And when the heart fills with gratitude, like I'm seeing so many lovely messages, whether it's from Avishi or Ankur or Priyanka or Ritu Gautam Chadha, Surekha, they all have so much love and gratitude.
I have to thank Surekha for that lovely rainbow cake.
Yes, I sent her some
sweet.
Photos.
Oh, you did? Good.
Yes.
So sweet.
We love her.
Every year gets bigger and bigger. Very naughty.
Very naughty. She is very, very open-hearted. So that same open-heartedness is, of course, when we're spontaneous and we love someone, then it just comes so naturally. How can we cultivate that for everyone in our life, ma? Or is it not possible?
We must send healing to everything and everyone.
We must send healing to everything and everyone.
And on that lovely note,
yes,
we're sending healing to everyone.
And everything.
Having a fulfilling life on this Sunday morning.
Love you, ma.
Stay very blessed and healing and happy. And we'll see you next Sunday.
And ma, on a small note, before the next Sunday, we have 30th is Akshaya Tritiya with all the golden energies of opulence and Mahalakshmi and Kuberji. So what should everyone do on that day? Of course, we have our meditation, which will be on Zoom, but anything else?
Yeah, they can buy something nice for themselves. I can't say go buy gold, it's so expensive.
Yes, ma'am.
But maybe even 1 gram is good to bring that, or a silver coin, something to bring back home.
Okay. So just on the 30th, from sunrise to sunset, anytime, they can go and just buy auspicious. Something. So even if it is like the most simplest thing.
Yeah, even a towel.
Even a towel. Okay.
Or a napkin. Or just spend some money. To bring more money and opulence. Love you all. Stay happy, ma. Stay healing.
Staying in your healing embrace, ma.
I love you.
Love you.
God bless.